Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
I'm able to hear you.
okay. Now let us see. Now let us see how we can transfer the error messages. So after transferring the database, I want to transfer the user created error messages. Okay. Now for that, let me go and create a job, create a package. So what is this transfer error messages is, suppose when you are transferring the database, no, so we are able to transfer the system error messages. Okay. System error messages we are able to transfer, but let us see if you want to transfer the, so yesterday we are able to transfer the DB Sukhdev database, no. Now let us see. Now we are connected to the first server. Now let me connect to the DB underscore Sukhdev query session. Okay. Now in this database, so let us see, we have some uh, where we can see the list of error messages is, we have one table called sys.messages table is there. So where it will store the all the system error messages, okay, all the error messages, whatever the error messages like conversion error or primary key violation error. So all those errors will be listed, okay, or all those errors will be listed in this table dot, which table is sys dot messages. Okay. Suppose if you want to see the errors regarding the primary key violation, you can go and type like select text like primary key. Now you can go and see. Now you can go and see that primary key violation. Now you can see cannot define primary key constraint on column is in table, has to be persisted or not nullable, and we can have that violation of primary key constraint also cannot insert disable primary key index. Both the primary and key constraint have been defined for column. Okay. Cannot add multiple key constraints. So these are all the errors related to the primary key value. Okay. Now you can see we have for each of them we have the message ID. Okay. So it will display when you got an error, it will display this message ID also. Okay. So these are all the system error messages. Okay. Inbuilt error messages. Apart from this, we can insert a user defined error messages also. So now if I go and see that in this table, I can enter, a user can enter his own error messages. Okay. So let us say for his application he was working, so he needs to create a specific error message. Okay. Then he can go and insert that error message in this table. Okay. Now let us see how we can insert this sp underscore, I think, add message. Okay. Now let us see. So, but if the user is inserting the message, that message ID should be greater than 50,000. The message ID should be greater than 50,000. If it is greater than 50,000 means that is a user created error message. Okay. We cannot add less than 50,000. We cannot add a message. Okay. Now already up to 50,000 15 were there. Okay. Now let me go for 50,000 16. Okay. And we can store the, since SQL supports multi languages. Okay. So we can store the language ID. 1033 is the English language code. Okay. ID for English language is 1033. So we can have Korean language and there will be separate ID for that, language ID for that. Okay, now severity level. Now we can go and specify the severity level, and after that we can go and specify the type of message. Let us say Durga Prasad. Okay. You can give any text. Okay, Durga text message. Like this. Any message you can go. Now let us go and see. This is how I want to insert a user created message. Must have a severity level between 1 and 25. Okay, 1 and 25. We are adding the 10033. So by default, it is taking this. Let me see. Okay. So it is by default, it is allowing us to add it. Now you can go and see 50016. Okay. So it has taken the default language ID. So we are have a permission, okay, to add only the English language messages. Why? Because this computer is supported of this computer language is Latin English language. No? So we are not able to specify the language ID. It is by default taking the English language. Okay, this is the system default language. It is taking the system default language. Okay, now you can see we are able to specify the severity, and we can go and see the error message, that is Durga text message. Okay, now if you are transferring the database, then by default all the system messages will be there. But how to transfer these user created messages from one database to another database? Okay, how to transfer these user created messages, okay, from one database to another database? Why? Because my database is connected to the application A. Now in this database, if that particular application specific error message, that is 50016 is there, okay, then my application will run in the first database, and I have transferred the database to server B, and that server B also is connecting to the same application. Okay, then the same error message also I have to display, no? So that error message should present in that database also, in that second database also, the same error message with the same ID it should present in order to display that. Okay, so how to transfer these user created error messages? Okay, now to do that, now the error message was there in the server A. Okay, now you can go and see if I in the server A. So if I go and see the user created message 50016. Now let us see. Let me connect to the server B. So let me connect to the server B and see that whether this 50016 is there or not. So we have just now created, no, it won't be there. Now let us go and see databases, new query. So this is the second server. Okay. For identification purpose, now we can go and see select star sys messages. Okay. Now you can go and see whether that error message is there or not. Now you can see it is not there. Okay. Now how to transfer this error message, user create message from this database to from server A to server B. Okay. Now let us see how we can do that. Okay. Now let us go and see. That is very easy. If you want to transfer the error messages from server A to server B, now these error messages are not database specific. They are not database specific. These are server specific. Now you can see when I run it from master database, I will get the same data, or when I run it from the particular database, I will get the same data. So these error messages are not database specific. This is server specific. Okay. Now let us go to this. And yes, I want to transfer the error messages. Now Let us go and specify the source connection. What is the server A? So let me go for new connection. Specify the server A details and the server B details. Now let us specify the server B. Now let us specify the server B name. Okay. Now if the object is existed, okay, this means if the message ID is already present in the server B. Okay. Do you want to fail the task? No, I don't want to fail the task. Do you want to overwrite or do you want to skip? I want to overwrite. Means if the same message ID is present in the server B, I want to overwrite it. Okay. Now transfer all error messages. No, I don't want to transfer all the messages. I want to transfer a specific error message. Okay. Transfer all messages. It's not make it as false. I want to transfer a specific message. If you make it as true, it will transfer all the messages. Now you can go and see which error message you want to transfer. Go and select the specific error message. So now you can see it will show the list of user created messages. Okay. Now you can see whatever we have created, that error message is already there. I can go and click on it. Click on OK. Now which language ID? So which language ID? Okay. So I want to go for it. You can see here the default language is US English, that is already selected. Okay. So we have to just select server A and server B, and I don't want to transfer all the messages, and if the already with the same message ID is present, I want to overwrite it, and I can go and select the which message IDs I want to transfer. That's it. Okay, so what it will do is it will take the message from server A and transfer to the server B. Now you can see we are able to transfer the messages from server A to server B. Now let us go and see. So we are in the second server. Now let us go and see whether the message got transferred to server B or not. Now you can see the 50016 message got transferred from server A to server B. Okay, so this is the first server in which you have already have the 50016, and in the second server that message got transferred. Okay.
Sir, why they will, I mean, in real time, how they use this? I mean, for what purpose they will be using this?
So let us say your current database is connected to application. Okay. Right? So when you are getting some error in that application, you are displaying a specific error message. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you have transferred the database to server B, and that server B database also connecting to the same application. Okay. So you have replaced the server A connection with the server B connection. Okay. So in that application, when the same error repeats, you should display the same error message. No,
No,
you are able to understand.
no, sir. No, no. Can you please explain once?
So let us see. This is the application.
Yeah.
Okay. So this application, you are storing the data inside one database. Okay. So inside one database, DB1. Okay. Now this is database is present in the server A. And when you are getting some application error, okay, you are displaying the error message, okay, which you have created as a user created error message. Let us say we have created one message, no, 50016. Okay,
Yeah.
so when an application is getting error, you are displaying this error message. Okay, now what is happening is now you disconnected from this server, so you transfer the database to server B, no? So you transfer the
Okay.
same database to server B. Okay, now let us see that your application is connecting to the server B database. Okay, your application is connecting to the server B database, and here the same error repeats here again. Okay, if the same error repeats, so I should display the error description. No, I should show that error description. No, okay.
Mm,
So if that message is
okay.
not there in this DB, how can I display it? Okay.
So you have to take from the
Yes.
A server and transfer it to B
Yes.
server.
Yes. Yes. So you have to transfer the error message, user created error message list also. Okay.
So
Understood?
these yes, sir. So these are all we will be creating that errors or
Yes. Yes. Means if you have any error, application specific errors are there.
okay.
Apart from the system messages, we can create our own application specific error messages.
Okay.
Okay. If there is a requirement, then we have to create the message like this. Whatever I have shown, SP underscore add message.
Yeah.
So like that, we have to add a, we can add a user created error message like this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
This is about transferring the error message. Now we have like that, we have transfer jobs task also. Okay. So let us say in the server A, I have created a job. Okay. Now in the server A, so let us say server B or first server. So let me rename it as first server. So in the server A, so under the server A, I have some list of jobs. Let me enable this. Let me start the SQL Server agent. So under the SQL Server agent, I have some list of jobs. Now you can see I have some list of jobs created under this SQL Server agent. Okay. Now, if you want to transfer the job, okay, if you want to transfer the job from one server A to server B, okay. Now let us see, we have an SSIS job underscore Faraj is there, and you can go and see that under the server B, under the same SQL Server agent, okay. Now you can see whether that particular job is there or not. Now you can see. So we have a job in the server A, let us say SSIS job underscore Faraj. Now the same job is not there here. Okay. So how to transfer the jobs from one server to another server? Okay, server A to server B. Now let us go and see if in order to transfer the job, same whatever you have done for error message transfer, no, same way we can transfer the jobs also. So let us select the source connection, destination connection, server A, server B. Transfer all the jobs. No, I don't want to transfer all the jobs. Which jobs you want to transfer? Go and select the job. Okay. Now you can go and see it will show the list of jobs. Now you can go and select whichever jobs you want to move it. Okay, SSIS job or whichever jobs you want to move it, you can go and select. If the job is already present, do you want to overwrite? Yes, I want to overwrite. Or do you want to skip, or do you want to fail? Whatever you want, you can do. Enable jobs and destination. So after creating it, do you want to enable the job also? No, I don't want to enable. Let it be false. Whenever I require, I can go and enable it. Okay, but let it be false at this time. Okay, so the same way, you have to select server A, server B, and which job I have to push from server A to server B. If the job is already present, do you want to overwrite? Yes. Okay, now you can go and see the selected jobs will be pushed from server A to server B. Now you can see all those jobs will be pushed from server A to server B like this. Now let us go and refresh. Let us go for jobs and refresh. Now you can go and see. Now you can see SSIS job for Raj, SSIS job 1, SSIS automate job. All these are, you can see, it is all are red arrow down. Means these are all disabled right now. And if you want to enable, you can go and enable these jobs like this. Okay. So this is how we can move the jobs from one server A to server. Similarly, we can move the, can go and see. Similarly, we can have option to move the logins. Is the list of user credentials. Okay, list of users. Okay, from server A to server B. Okay, and the list of master store procedures. Master store procedure means if you have any store procedures inside the master database. If you have a store procedure inside a master database, now let us go and see. So under the databases, we have some master database, and let us see, do we have any store procedure? Can we create a store procedures? Yes, we can create a store procedures here. Okay. Now I have some list of store procedures. Now let us go and see that under the server B, under the master database, do we have any store procedures? Yes, we have some list of store procedures. Okay. Now let us see that any store procedure, or if you want to create any store procedure, you can go and create. So let us go and see. So master, let me create a new window. Now let us see the list of tables. So we have some table underscore EMP master. Okay. A table underscore some employee details. Let us go and see. So under the first server, so let me connect to the master database. Okay. So I want to create a store procedure. Okay. So in the master database, I'm creating a store procedure. So create procedure. So VSP underscore, let us say Prasad sample as begin. I'm creating a simple store procedure here. So select the star from table underscore EMPL details. Let us say EMPL details. Any data is there? I don't have any data. So let me go and say. So I have just some empty tables. EMP master. So I have some empty data. So if you want to insert, I can go and insert some data into this table. So let me go and insert some data. some employee, some employee name, some salary, okay, some date of join. Okay. So I have inserted two records. Okay. Now let us go and see. Let me create the store procedure. Okay. So I'm creating the store procedure, and whenever I execute the store procedure, so I will get the two records. Now let us see how we can execute. Now you can see we are able to get that. So we have created a store procedure in the server here. Now that is present under the master database. Now I want to transfer this store procedure. So let us go and select the store procedure. Same way, we have to just select server A and server B, source and destination. If the object is exist, do you want to fail? No, I want to overwrite. Do you want to transfer all store procedures? No. And which store procedure you want to transfer? Just select it. Now we have just created USB Prasad sample. That's it. So it will transfer the database from server A to server B. Yes. So now you can see we are able to transfer the message. Transfer the store procedure. Now let us go and see in the second server. Let us go and see the uh, master database. Okay, let me refresh this and let us go and see under the programmability under the store procedures in the second server. Now we can see the store procedure got transferred here. Okay, USB Prasad sample is present in the master database of second server. Okay, like this you can transfer the store procedure present in a master database. Okay, and one more important thing is transfer SQL Server objects. So transfer SQL Server object means, so initially you have transferred the database from server A to server B. No? Okay. After the initial transfer, so let us say some new tables are added in the source database. Okay. And on the existing tables, some modifications are happened. Okay, so on the existing table some changes are happened and some new tables or store procedures, whatever it is, views, some new objects are added in the source. Now how to transfer only those tables, how to transfer only the new tables, or how to transfer the tables which are having the changes. Okay, every time you don't need to transfer the entire database. No, so first time you can transfer the entire database. Okay. But second time onwards, you will add only the new additions and only the modified tables. Okay. So is this possible? Yes, we can still do that. by taking the help of transfer SQL Server object task. Okay. Now in the last class we have transferred the database DB underscore Sukhdev. No? So we have transferred the DB underscore Sukhdev from server A to server B. Okay. Now in the source server, so this is my second server. So in the source server, let me add some. Now let us go and add some new tables. So let us go for this there. Let me go for new query. Okay. Now let us go and see. So I'm adding a new table here. Okay. So create table, table underscore new sample. Okay. Now EMP ID, EMP name value 20, some salary. Okay. I'm adding a new table and I'm inserting the data values. Okay. Values, let us say 1 comma a comma something like 30,000 and something like 2 comma b comma some name and some value. So 3 comma something like b comma something like 40,000. Okay. Now let us go and see. So I'm adding the two new records. Okay. So let me create the table first. So I have created a table and I have inserted the new records in the server, first server. So this is in the first server. Okay. Now let us go for second server. Now let us go and see whether the table is already present here or not. So I'm connecting to the second server and here I'm checking. So you can see the table is not present. Okay. So I have created a new table in the server A database. Now how to transfer only this object, only the newly created objects. Now let us see that. So by using this task, SQL Server objects transfer only the objects. Now let us go and see that. So we have to specify the server A, server B, destination. Okay. So in this it is asking for source database. So which database tables you want to transfer? In the server A, I want to transfer the tables of DB Sukhdev. To which server? Let us select the server B. And to which database? Same database. Okay, I have selected the source name, server name, and destination server and the corresponding database. And in the destination, what you want to do? So, so if the table is already present, okay, if the table is already present, do you want to drop the object first? Okay, suppose let us say in the case of modified tables, so do you want to drop the object first? Okay, so if you want, we can just go and make it as true if you want to drop it. Okay, no, I don't want to drop it. Now, do you want to copy the data? Yes, I want to copy the data. Okay, so existing data, do you want to replace? Okay, or do you want to append? You can go and select it as replace. Okay, now copy the schema. And do you want to use collation? Means same language sets do you want to copy? Okay, same language setting. Collation means language settings. And do you want to include the dependent objects? Means any foreign key table is there, do you want to include those table also? Do you want to create those table also? That is your wish. Okay. And destination copy options. Destination copy option is how you want to copy. Do you want to copy all the objects, or if you want to copy all the objects you have to make it as true? Okay. Or do you want to copy all the tables? Okay. Now you can see you can go and enlarge this. If you are not copying all the objects, you can go and enlarge this, and you can specify, do you want to copy all the tables? No. And which table you want to copy? So you can go and select the list of tables. Okay. So if you know in which table we have some changes and which table you are adding, we can go and select that. Okay. Now which table I want to add, I can go and select that. Similarly, we can copy the views, store procedures, okay, user defined functions. If any changes happen in these functions, views or store procedures, if you add a new store procedure or a new view, we can go and select from this list. You can see here we have the any data type objects, database objects like partition schemas, okay, or assemblies, or you can see that schema collection, user defined types, okay, user defined type list, all those things we can copy. Okay. Similarly, regarding the security, do you want to copy the user database users from server A to server B, or any roles or any logins or any permissions and indexes, primary keys, foreign keys, whatever you want. Okay, do you want to copy those objects or newly added primary keys from server A to server B? We can go and select this. Okay. Now I'm just selecting the table, but in real time, if you added a new view, new store procedure, you can go and select those from this collection list. Okay. Now let us click on OK. Now let us go and execute this. So let us see whether that newly created table. I'm not transferring the entire database now. I'm just transferring only the changes. Okay, now just see that whether the newly created table is present in the second server or not. Now you can see this is our second server. Okay, now we can go and see. So we are in the master database now. Let me connect to the DBs there. Okay, now let us go and see. The table is present. So the table is present in the second server DB Sukadev database. So in the first server we have created and inserted the data. Now you can see the table got transferred to server. Suppose let us say if any changes happen to this data after initial push, now let me insert two more records. So let me insert 4 and 5. Okay. Now let me have AC and EC. Okay, some dates. Now I am modifying the table data. So I am inserting two more records in the source here. Okay. Now we can go and see whether these changes will affect the server B or not. So what we have done, go to the objects. Now let us say that existing data. So if the drop object first, if the object is already there, I want to drop that, then make it as true. Okay, copy data true and copy schema true, copy collation false. Okay, now let us go and see copy data true. Okay, now let us go and execute this. So it will go and delete that particular drop object and it will try to recreate the database, recreate the table. Now you can go and see the server A we have 4 records. Now in the server B, let us go and see. We are dropping the data, existing data, and we are recreating the table. It will drop the object and it will recreate the table. Only that particular object. Or if you don't want to drop it, now let me insert two more records. Okay. Now let us see whether this is allowed or not. I am inserting two more records. The first server. In the second server, still 4 records are there. Now let us go and see. So if I don't want to drop the object first, So let us see whether this will work. I don't want to drop it. Okay. Now copy the data true, and we want to replace the existing data. So let me make it as true. Okay. And let us go and see. I don't want to means we are copying all objects again. No objects to copy. So let me go and see whether this will work out or not. So now I'm not dropping. Without dropping, I just want to replace the data. Now let us see. You can see that is not allowing, saying that table new sample already exists on the destination. So this table is already existed. Let me remove this. Now, now let us go and see second server. So 1345. Okay. 67 is not showing there in the second server. Okay. So let me see what it is. So without dropping the object first, I want to recreate. Okay. Now let us see any other option is there for me. So without dropping the object first, I just want to copy the data, and existing data I want to replace. Copy the schema and copy all objects false. Objects to copy. So I don't want to. So here if I select copy, it is trying to create it again. Okay. Objects to copy. So what it is telling is, so we have to drop the object first. If it is a already present object, so we have to drop, and let me see, append whether it will work. And here I have selected the new table or not. Let us see two underscores. Now let us see whether this will work out for me. So I'm trying to copy the data, but it is saying that the table is already present. So it is saying that. So when you want to replace the data, let me go and see. Table already exists on the destination. Okay. So for the existing record, for the existing table, it is saying that if the table is already existing, do you want to drop? Means yes. Okay. For existing table change, we have to drop the table first, and we can copy the table again here. Okay. And do you want to copy the data? Yes, I want to copy the data also. After dropping and after recreating, do you want to copy the data? Yes. But for a new table change, okay, if a new table change, okay, then you can directly make it as a drop object as false. Why? Because the object is not at present. Okay. So let me see. I'm selecting this. Now let me create one more table here in the first server. So let me create one more table, sample 2. So along with the sample, I want to create one more table. This is a new table, and in the existing sample, okay, so I have done some changes, two new records. So we have two tables. This is sample 2 is one, and here let us go and see. So this is one table, okay. So which is having the 6 records, and we have one more new table which was present in the server A but not in server B. Okay. Now you can see these are the existing table and one new table. Now let me copy the same in the second server. Now let us replace this. Okay. Now you can see first one has 4 records. The second table is not yet existed. Now let us do the same changes here. Okay. So for the existing one, I am dropping the objects and I want to copy the data. Okay. And which objects I want to copy? So you can go to the collection and here we can go and select. So sample and sampled. Okay, this is a new table and this is the existing table. Now let us go and see. So if the table is already existing, it will drop it and it will recreate with the new data. Okay, with the entire data. And if it is a new table, it will directly create it. Okay. Now let us go and see in the B server, in the server B. So now you can see in the existing table, the new records are added and the B table also, sample2 table also is created. Okay, understood? So after initial transfer of the entire database, if any new tables are added or if any existing tables undergone any changes, I can use this task to transfer only those tables or views or store procedures like this. Okay, understood? Any doubts? Hello? Can I stop now? Hello? So are you able to understand? No? Sarala, are you there? Are you there?